Let's follow the vestiges of love. In what form has love permitted nature? Like sunshine? Waves? Maybe late afternoon? Following the scenery, looking at love and fleeting moment. I always have been wondering what shape of love people have in their lives. How can they keep their love? In my life, in my world, I believe that love has no limitation, as well as love exists for everything, even invisible thing.
Are you in love?
Yes.
Yes, I think.
I do.
Yes, I'm married, so yes.
When people are born, they start to step into the question of life, and love have always brought questions. It makes people answer it and move to improve their question to the society. Love exists for the society, and the society exists for love.
Oh, we've been together 27 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But we only got married 6 months ago.
Oh my god. Can,
Ah.
can you tell about like some story about with your wife?
Oh, what can I say? So, yeah, we met in England, Newcastle. And she's
Really?
English, I'm English, she's English.
Oh.
And we wanted to leave England and go to Europe.
Yeah.
So we come to Berlin 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So she came before me and worked out. I can't.
Uh-huh,
I followed
uh-huh.
her. So I'm following my girlfriend. or my
Oh
wife.
my god. What do you think about like love? What is the definition of love?
Oh my goodness. There are different types of love, huh? So there is the romantic love that you have with a partner
Yeah.
or something, but then I think there is a different type of love that's not, it's more spiritual. Maybe,
Yeah.
You know? Maybe you call it compassion
Compassion.
or something that's not about another person. It's about not self. Yeah, I'm a Buddhist. you
Yeah.
know, so I have a Buddhist understanding of things about not self.
Yeah.
So that's a different type of, different
That's
level.
true, yeah.
So I think, but we live in different levels, don't we? So conventional life,
Yeah.
and then this metaphysical understanding of life and death and meaning of life. So I think one of my goals is one of my little things is I want things to be more fair. And so I try and use some of the. I just think society's broken in lots of ways.
That's that, yeah,
Lots
especially,
of
yeah.
broken things. It's not working at all well. It's very unfair.
Yeah.
Rich and poor, and lots of things are
Yeah.
not good. I think it's getting worse. Anyway, yeah. So I hope that things got better like that.
Like simply, like,
It's actually such a funny coincidence because
Yeah.
on my way here, I was speaking to my mom, and we were speaking about love.
really?
Yeah, and so I'm from Cameroon originally, and we moved to the U.S. when I was 10,
Really?
and so I lived there for about 12 years. And I remember I was also speaking about this with some colleagues who are also from Cameroon,
Yeah.
and we were speaking about how our mothers are, and how
Yeah.
just the way that they behave, the ways in which they're similar. And I was telling this anecdote about a time when I must have been like 15 or 16, like
Yeah.
quite young, and I had an argument with my mother about something,
Yeah.
and I think at that time we'd been in the US for a few years, and so I'd started
Oh,
to.
hello.
Hi.
Oh.
Yeah, we had started to pick up some. Obviously at that age you're hanging out with Americans, you're seeing how they interact with their parents, and you're like trying to
Yeah.
understand what is a normal interaction between a child and the parent.
Love has grown itself as trying to escape normal imagination. Love wants to, and people want to move on, reshaping of a nature. Love is the same as language, endlessly emerging and shared. Even if they speak different language, they can be connected. There is no boundary.
I think the first time I probably felt love has to be from my mother, but those are two different kinds of love, the maternal love and then the romantic love. So I think the first time I experienced love, it was definitely when I was a little kid, and I don't exactly remember what I felt, but I think safety is really important. A lake in the mountains surrounded by snow with a little fire next to the lake. Yeah, something very peaceful, very serene, I think. A lot of the Western world is very cold and very unloving. And then there are a lot of countries that are very oppressive and very restrictive. So I think if love is reflected in certain societies, but not in all.
Tell me your love story.
Well, I am in a relationship currently, and that love story I think is quite nice because I was looking for love for a long time, and then decided that I should stop looking for love because it's supposed to find you. Even though for a long time I didn't believe that. So I stopped looking for love and I just spent time with my friends, which I was getting love from them as well, and it was fulfilling. And then I met someone, and I really wasn't looking for love with them. I thought it was just going to be a short thing, but we ended up spending so much time together, and it was special and nice and fun, and we sort of fell into it. So I think that's our love story, and we're just seeing how it goes now, but the biggest thing is just being honest with each other and uplifting each other and enjoying our time. So yeah, that's my love story right now.
For me, it's being in love is like feeling so warm in the whole body. And I think for me, for example, my mother is also a big part in my love story of my life. Maybe that's a bit cheesy, but she plays an important role. And I think I find a lot of love in daily life. Like I can be so happy with a lot of details that I see daily, and they give me a lot of love. I can give a lot of love to my surrounding. So maybe this is my love story.
Most likely that'll be from my parents. My parents are both very loving people, even though they show it in different ways. But I definitely think I learned love from my parents, and I think my first impression, I think it's just whenever we would argue, if we would have an argument, my dad would always say to me, even when I'm cross with you, I still love you. And I think that was a really important moment in me growing up, seeing that even when people are upset, even if people are angry with you, even if you've really, really hurt them, when they love you, even when they feel all of those emotions towards you, they will still be able to love you. People don't just hate you when they're angry. So I think that's the first definition, that's the first time I sort of learned what love was. Yeah. There's a lot of hate in the world, and I think that causes a lot of the problems that we have. So I think love really could change the world, because love brings people together, and when people come together they can fight back against hate.
Concepts of love are like very connected to, maybe there's a sociologist called Eva Illouz, and she says that there's love is always connected to like capitalism and like structures that exist and like concepts, and that, for example, many objects can be romanticized, and for that they will be, I don't know, people buy them more often or something like this. And I think like also me as a person, I can kind of be an object in a market of love, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think this is something that makes love a bit less romantic if you like look at it from this perspective, but I think for me it's important to add this perspective.
I never felt any hatred within myself for queer people or different people. I was always taught to love everything and learn what things are before you make a decision on them. So I grew up in quite an accepting space, even though growing up in Southeast London there were people around me that clearly didn't like queer people, but I think a lot of that came from misunderstanding or being afraid to ask, because most people, as we got older and I spoke to them, they were absolutely fine with it. My parents are really accepting. Made some amazing friends and none of them question it. I think it's more when I go out into the world, I know that I have to act a specific way because people look at me funny. And sometimes I was buying my boyfriend flowers and I went into the shop and the lady who was scanning my flowers went, "Oh, who's the lucky lady?" And I just felt like I couldn't say, well, they're actually for my boyfriend. So I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm going on a date, I'll see if she likes them.
I think questions that I have towards love is if the systems that we as human like decided love to look like, if these are really the most loving systems that we could choose.
Take a day to walk in their shoes, because I guarantee it won't be what you expect. And I think that would create a whole lot more love, because people would love the different experiences, the different ways of living, rather than hating them because they don't know them. So I think the world should change by asking more questions and being more open and more curious.
Because I think there's a lot of struggle. You need to always be very cautious, and there's always a political opinion right now on queer love. So maybe it's just that you don't lose the courage to find your own way, kind of, and also that queer love is like the value is the same as like any other version of love. Like there's so many versions of love, and I think we shouldn't be afraid of trying our own way of love. Actually, because now I just heard a bird, I think maybe it's birds, and just like I see a little wind, and in the trees they like move very slowly. So maybe it's just this very calm thing of, okay, the nature works and it's growing. It's like, so there's so many colors.
It gives you things. It nurtures things. I think it would take, and it can also just, like a tsunami, it can be so overwhelming, it can be, it can tear things apart sometimes if you put love in the wrong place. So I think it would be the ocean.
Love is everywhere. Love is diverse. Love has a grace. Love and question. We are waiting for love in life.